This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, 4 locals will be representing the country in the World Paralympic Games. They have a good chance of winning gold. More than a month's worth of rain falls on the city in just one day, putting pressure on stormwater systems. And we'll find out how thousands of residents have become part of an art installation. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. 4 local athletes are heading to Brazil to represent the country in this year's Paralympic Games. They're among just 6 New Zealanders selected for the national athletics team, which was officially announced in Dunedin this morning, and they've got a good chance of winning gold.
Taking on the world. These top athletes are heading to Rio de Janeiro in about 100 days' time as the New Zealand Paralympic athletics squad for 2016. They're already ranked in the top 5 globally in their respective disciplines. Dunedin's Raylene Bates coaches many of them and believes she's backing winners, as even selection is hard to achieve.
These athletes travel to Australia quite often to get additional competition. They then actually have to wait and see how many slots they get allocated from the International Paralympic Committee. And how they allocate those slots is the gold and silver medalists from the World Champs automatically get a slot.
He's only been training for about 18 months, but track runner Liam Malone is already attracting tough comparisons. He's affectionately known as New Zealand's Blade Runner, due to the physical similarities he shares with Paralympic gold medalist Oscar Pistorius.
As an athlete, well, I mean, we're born with the same congenital birth defect, similar amputations, our running styles are very similar. In that respect, we're very similar life experiences, both lost our mums very young.
Javelin thrower and 2012 Paralympian Holly Robinson grew up on the West Coast, but now calls Dunedin home. She's been living in the city since she was 16 years old and is currently ranked #1 in the world.
Yes, I'm pretty happy with it. I wanted to finish off my season, in that sort of area, #1. And yeah, it definitely bodes well for me moving into Rio for my goals. My goals are top 2 finish, so that's in a good place for me now. And it won't be easy. I've got some amazing athletes in my event.
Another local who's gained selection is shot putter and former Paralympian Jessica Hamill. She's joining fellow Dunedin track and field athletes Rory McSweeney and Anna Grimaldi in the team. The CEO of Paralympics New Zealand says Bates is one of the main reasons there's such strength in parasport in the south.
We've centralised the program based around the coach having been based here in Dunedin. And so therefore a number of athletes have made some really big decisions to come to Dunedin, study here to enable them to train and then represent New Zealand now at the Paralympic Games.
Rounding out the athletics squad is William Stedman. So far, no other Dunedin competitors have been selected for the Paralympics, although some teams have yet to be announced. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
The Dunedin City Council has adopted a new dog control policy, giving owners more freedom than originally planned. Councillors have just voted to implement the new policy, which was amended from its draft form following backlash from hundreds of dog owners. Proposed restrictions originally included making it mandatory for dogs to be on leashes around sports grounds. Now, pet canines can be let free within non-marked areas of council sporting fields. There will no longer be a 12-month trial allowing leashed dogs in the CBD as initially planned. More than 380 people made submissions on the draft policy. The city received more than an average month's rainfall in the 24 hours to noon today. About 60 millimetres fell during that time, putting pressure on drainage systems and causing widespread surface flooding. But the situation is expected to ease.
Dealing with a deluge. Heavy persistent rain since Saturday afternoon has been forcing residents and authorities to take action in regards to drainage and surface flooding. About 60 millimetres fell in the city during the 24 hours to noon. In comparison, last June's flooding was caused by 86 millimetres falling in a single day. Nearly a year on from the once-in-a-100-year floods, it certainly is raining in Dunedin today, but the groundwater has drained. It seems council engineers have been out for most of the day. City Care contractors were cleaning the mud tanks on Portsmouth Drive early this morning in an effort to keep water flowing. The council has been responding to surface flooding and ponding around the city, including Mosgiel and North Dunedin. A couple of people who were braving the weather in South Dunedin today agree it's been nothing like last year.
It's been a good weather so far this year. It's just started to get a bit wet and cold. We're getting on to winter, so you've got to expect these sort of things. You can't control them.
Very cold and chilly, and the wind's pretty out there,
Autumn leaves have been blocking drains, making a tougher job for contractors. Council staff are thanking members of the public who've been clearing leaves out of grates in their communities. The temperature gauge in North East Valley may be a little waterlogged, as locals report it being about 5 degrees out. The Met Service attributes this weather to a low-pressure system off the east coast, which is expected to gradually ease this evening. Daryl Baser, 39, Dunedin News.
St Clair residents are again with power following last night's electricity outage in the suburb. High winds were causing problems in South Dunedin, where hundreds of residents were plunged into darkness at 9:15 p.m. In total, 516 customers in St Clair were without power for almost 2 hours. Contractors restored electricity just before 11 p.m. Delta says the outage was the result of a broken high voltage wire. There have been no further reports of power loss in the city as a result of the current weather system. Thousands of residents are contributing to a unique installation at the Dunedin Public Art Gallery. A work by a Japanese artist is allowing visitors to indulge their creativity while viewing the exhibition, and the fun isn't over.
Creating colour in a whitewashed room, visitors to the Dunedin Public Art Gallery have been engaging in its latest exhibit.
This is an interactive installation by the Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama, who's someone who's been active in the art world for many decades. She's nearly 90, I think, so she's been doing these kinds of works for a long time.
People viewing the obliteration room are given a sheet of circular stickers to cover objects set up inside. The work's local installation started off looking like this and has rapidly evolved.
We've had something like 17,000 visitors to the exhibition in the last 2 weeks. So it's really captured people's imagination.
There doesn't look like much room left to sticker, but there are still a couple of months for residents to get involved before the installation closes in early August. It's the first time the Japanese artist's work has been shown at the gallery, and staff are hoping it won't be the last.
We have borrowed the work from the Queensland Art Gallery. This is part of their collection, and so we've worked with the Queensland Art Gallery and the artist's studio in Japan to source the stickers.
The size, shape and colour of the stickers was specified by the artist. About 50,000 sheets of them were printed in Europe for the Dunedin exhibition. McCracken says interaction is one of many components of a successful art program, and the public's been responding well to this opportunity.
It captures people's imagination. They are so they understand inherently what to do. We don't need to tell people what to do, they know.
The obliteration room is closing on the 7th of August. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we take a closer look at the Panama Papers and what they mean for our country. And some of the city's sports people are recognised. Details soon.
Hi, this time of year we like to keep our customers warm and comfortable, and we sell a lot of moleskins and we've got them all on special. Check out these, Tussock Creek, 2 weights and they're a great price. We also sell Lee stretch moleskins, 5 different colours, short and regular. Great buying, moleskins, Alex Campbell Menswear, 3 stores.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come come all to the Lana Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July, get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 4761616 or go online to www.lanarkcastle.co.nz.
Dog with Two Tails Cafe and Bar on Moray Place. Proud supporters of New Zealand Music Month May 2016.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
It has no arms, no legs, has a drill in its mouth up to 8 hours a day and still never complains. It's one of 72 mannequin torsos in our new $3.8 million dental simulation lab, the first and only facility of its kind in New Zealand. My name is Nikki Rose Coltolaro and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
It's on again. The Star Regent 24-hour book sale starts noon 10th June. Don't miss out!
For professional, reliable and approachable service where your dream kitchen design can become an affordable reality, contact the team at Kitchens for Less. Call 455 9973 or visit us online. Oamaru's Fire and Steam is a unique family event coinciding with the Steampunk New Zealand Festival. Fire and Steam is being held Friday the 3rd of June from 6:30pm till 9pm. The festival is to celebrate fire, steam, sound, light and music. Harbour Street will come alive. An annual event not to be missed.
We're at 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Welcome back. Forestry exports are returning higher profits, but there is scepticism in the industry about whether current values will continue. The average wharf gate price for A-grade New Zealand logs has increased to $120 a tonne. Inventory levels on Chinese ports remain moderate, with China New Zealand's largest forestry export market. Some in the industry believe its stability will continue, but others are more pessimistic and think current returns are too high to be maintained in the long run. Domestically, prices have lifted for both pruned and structural logs as demand is exceeding supply thanks to the building boom in Auckland and Christchurch. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day down 2 points, is now at 6,908. The FTSE is up 103 points. And to the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is up against all the currencies we follow. Well, the world is still reeling from the global financial scandal known as the Panama Papers. International Relations Professor Robert Patman of the University of Otago has been reading into the mass data leak and its ramifications. And he joins us now to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
What are the Panama Papers?
Well, the Panama Papers are a reference to a massive leak of financial documents from a law firm based in Panama called called Mossack Fonseca. And what the leaks showed is how the rich and the powerful avoid tax. That is where they place their surplus assets. And it's been quite a revealing picture that's emerged. Politicians from around the world, movie stars, etc., etc. We've learnt quite a lot about where their assets are placed. And New Zealand has been quite prominent in these revelations.
Are these revelations illegal?
No. No, the Tax Justice Network have made it quite clear there's nothing illegal investing money in offshore foreign trusts. But what is a concern is the nature of some of the money that's being invested, whether it's been ill-gotten, for example, whether it's drug money or it's criminal, has criminal connotations. And it has raised a lot of eyebrows.
So tell us a wee bit more about how New Zealand is implicated.
Well, New Zealand is implicated in as much that it's listed as one of 21 countries which are seen as potential targets for people who've got, if you like, a lot of money and they want to deploy it in a way which will not incur much tax. Mossack Fonseca singled out New Zealand and recommended it to clients of its, on its books as being a place where there was a tax-free foreign trust regime, where its legal system was excellent, and where the confidentiality was guaranteed. Now, Mr. Key, the Prime Minister, has moved quickly to say that doesn't mean we're a tax haven, and I think technically he's correct, but what these revelations seem to do is point to vulnerabilities in our trust laws which may need revision. In other words, we may have a regime which has been inadvertently abused to some extent by people moving the money around the world in this fashion.
What then is the definition of a tax haven?
Oh, well, basically where you can totally avoid tax.
Oh, nice. Any further consequences for the government on this one, do you think?
Possibly. The government's come under a bit of flack. Mr. Key, it led to Mr. Key being ejected from Parliament after examination by one of the Green co-leaders. But I think putting aside those relatively minor episodes, I think what the government will do under pressure, and possibly it may even take the opportunity to do with enthusiasm, is tighten up our trust laws. Because with money so mobile now and instant communications, the situation has changed. And you've seen this in the number of what they call offshore shelf companies, which when funds go into, they've expanded in the last decade from about 2,000 to 10,000. So potentially a problem there.
And have we seen any of John Key's money showing up in any tax-free zones around the world?
Not to my knowledge, but we do know that his legal advisor, Mr. Ken Whitney, has had connections with Mossack Fonseca. Now, one thing we should be clear here, Rebecca, is that this company where these revelations occurred is just the tip of the iceberg. It's probably only about 5% of the industry for tax avoidance. So we shouldn't, and as I say, it's not illegal. So we shouldn't. We're sure to put this is a huge problem.
Do we know how these papers made their way out to the light of day?
It was done over a year by someone who was negotiating with a German newspaper, and Süddeutsche Zeitung, and the Guardian newspaper was also involved. And they've been, there could be more revelations. So it's interesting. It has big international implications as well.
And Russia's president is thought to be heavily involved.
Well, he's not personally named, but some very close associates of him. For example, his best friend and the musician, the cellist, Sergei Rodolgin, apparently has $2 billion in assets, and he hasn't earned that through his, through his performances, however brilliant, and apparently they are brilliant. And he got his press spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, is also identified. Then there's prominent members of Russian parliament close to Mr. Putin. Now, what does this all suggest? It basically seems to support or corroborate a whole series of revelations recently that the Putin regime has accumulated secretly huge wealth. And the American government claimed in January of this year that Mr. Putin They'd known this since 2007, that he was personally corrupt and he had accumulated huge wealth, which was largely secret and in overseas accounts. So in that sense, it could raise questions domestically for Mr. Putin, and it may also have something to do with Mr. Putin's very tough approach to the Ukraine, because conventionally, the Russian involvement in Ukraine, in the conflict there since 2014, has been interpreted in terms of great power rivalry. That is American influence in the Ukraine and the Russians responding to it. But these revelations tend to support the view that the regime, the Putin regime, and some of its associates have been involved in the energy sector in Ukraine and were motivated to get involved because they feared the extension of the rule of law in the Ukraine. So this sort of revelation it can be embarrassing in itself, but it could also shed a new light onto some aspects of international relations that keep hitting the headlines.
Just the tip of the iceberg, as you say. Professor of International Relations Robert Patman from the University of Otago, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, the Highlanders celebrate, and we'll find out when this wet weather is expected to move on.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
Finding that your grass seed just won't grow? Ready Lawn has the perfect solution for all those lawn woes. Call Ready Lawn today on 486 1819.
We're at 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. We're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Hi, this time of year we like to keep our customers warm and comfortable, and we sell a lot of moleskins and we've got them all on special. Check out these, Tussock Creek, 2 weights and they're a great price. We also sell Lee stretch moleskins, 5 different colours, short and regular. Great buying, moleskins, Alex Campbell Menswear, 3 stores.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Oamaru's Fire and Steam is a unique family event coinciding with the Steampunk New Zealand Festival. Fire and Steam is being held Friday the 3rd of June from 6:30pm till 9pm. The festival is to celebrate fire, steam, sound, light and music. Harbour Street will come alive. An annual event not to be missed.
128 tracks, dynamic automation, dual faders, and totally digital. This is state-of-the-art music production. The SSL Digital Console. You'll find one in the BBC studios in London, another at CBS studios in New York, and now one at the University of Otago. It's a good reason why our sound now sounds even better. My name is Maddie Parkins Craig, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Come one, come all to the Lanark Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July, get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 4761616 or go online to www.lanarkcastle.co.nz.
Dog with Two Tails Cafe and Bar on Moray Place. Proud supporters of New Zealand Music Month, May 2016.
Welcome back. Police are wanting to speak with the victim of a hit-and-run incident in the central city. A Caucasian man described as being in his late 60s or early 70s was hit by a car on the corner of George and St Andrew Streets. That happened at about 3:30 p.m. yesterday. Police apprehended a 13-year-old male in relation to the incident and are seeking his 15-year-old male companion. Officers say the car in question had been stolen overnight. They're wanting to speak with the hit-and-run victim as well as any witnesses to the incident. The Highlanders are celebrating their dominance of the annual Otago Sports Awards. The team won the main prize in Friday night's ceremony, having won last year's Super Rugby tournament. Highlanders co-captain and All Black Ben Smith won the Sportsman of the Year award. Head coach Jamie Joseph took out the Coach of the Year title, beating Black Caps coach Mike Hesson. Cricketer Susie Bates won Sportswoman of the Year as captain of the Otago Sparks and White Ferns. Junior Sportsman and Woman awards went to Wanaka skier Beau James Wells and Palmerston motocross rider Courtney Duncan. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. 4 local athletes are heading to Rio for this year's Paralympic Games, representing New Zealand in the 6-person athletics squad. The city had more than an average month's rainfall in the 24 hours to noon today, but drainage networks seem to be coping. And thousands of residents have been engaging with an interactive art installation by a Japanese woman at the Central Gallery. And it's time now to have a look at what's going to be in the ODT tomorrow. And Phil Somerville joins us. Yes. Good evening.
Hi, Rebecca. Tuesday's travel day. This features on Chile and also the Gold Coast. The opinion page is tomorrow. Good variety there. So Colin James is very authoritative on matters political. Roy Colbert's very amusing, and Peter Matheson's written an interesting piece about where are the middle-aged people when it comes to activism. It just seems to be the young and a few of the older people. So that's interesting. The four-wheel drive people lost on the Old Man Range near Roxburgh, they're being taken out tonight, so there'll be stuff on that, of course. And also we look at the heavy rain and the impact of that and what's gone on. Strong sports section tomorrow, including the Steels netball match tonight.
That's tomorrow's ODT. Thank you, Phil. Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is our city view as taken of cars driving through a puddle on George Street. Quite a few to choose from. Around the city at 3 o'clock today, 7 degrees for both the central city and the gardens, 8 for the Tyree. To the situation in this cold south to southwest flow will continue through the week. To the forecast for some of the main towns on the lower south for tomorrow, sou'westers and showers for Invercargill and Te Anau. Some cloud with sou'westers for Gore and Alexandra, both on 10 degrees. And sou'westers with some cloud for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel, all expecting a high of 10. In Dunedin tonight, showers clearing with a low of 5 degrees. Mostly dry tomorrow, but it will remain cloudy with light to moderate sou'westers, though rain will develop again at night, going for a high of 10. And on Wednesday, wintry showers, but they will clear with sunny periods increasing during the day and cold sou'westers easing, a high of 9. And to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information, low tide tomorrow is at midday, high tide follows at 25 to 6. And fishing conditions look good tomorrow, particularly at around 25 past 2 in the afternoon. And that's local news for Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.